African Diaspora News family. My name is Reneilwe Morema and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News channel. I am reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. As you've all heard by now, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has flown to Washington, D.C. to meet with President Donald Trump about this white genocide issue. Matter of fact, they have already met, and Ramaphosa was trying to plead to what Trump already knows, that there is no white genocide in South Africa. America, with the world's most sophisticated intelligence, know exactly that the Boers are lying. They are just weaponizing our fake, weak democratic institution that was based on the Rainbow Nation that prioritized white people and subdued black people. Trump administration knew that the values of the Rainbow Nation was just pretense, and if he pushed the right buttons, then everything will collapse, revealing the fakeness. The almighty, forgiving, righteous, holier than thou state of South Africa will perish in revenge to Israel. If 1994 was real, then all this white genocide nonsense would have not shook us, and there would be no need to act like a white monopoly stooge and fly to Washington, D.C. to meet your master. But because the tension between South Africa and America is threatening your white supremacist personal interests and their businesses, you had to act inferior and try to make amends with a madman that knows the actual truth. Speaking of Ramaphosa's white supremacist friends that stand to lose a lot from this beef with America, do you know who his delegates were when going into that White House to meet with Trump? Do you know the billionaires that run South Africa behind the scenes? Meet Ramaphosa's delegation team to the White House. He had to haul in the Avengers of white supremacy to be part of his delegation because the MAGA operation does not approve of the black cabinet of the ANC. This should tell you who really runs South Africa. And maybe the black politicians are just the faces used to put a wool over our eyes. Anyway, Johan Rupert and Ernie Els used to play golf with Trump. In fact, before winning his presidential election, both Rupert and Els met up with Trump for a round of golf at Mar-a-Lago in Florida to discuss the strained relationship between South Africa and America. Ernie Els in 2017 tweeted that the world needs to know that white people in South Africa are brutally murdered. So why is this golfer part of Ramaphosa's delegation if he's not there to throw Ramaphosa under the bus and confirm this false white genocide narrative? I'm not going to be emotional about this because I know it's a calculative move to include these white supremacists in his delegation to the White House. Ramaphosa knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, Trump is a man of ego, status, and symbolism. He values wealth, celebrity, and golf more than policy briefings. Ramaphosa's delegation is tailored perfectly for that. This isn't random. It's calculated, as I have mentioned. So Johan Rupert, a billionaire luxury empire builder, symbol of South African capital, Ernie Els and Reneilwe Morema are global golf legends, both known on the PGA Tour, all instantly recognizable names in Trump's world. Ramaphosa isn't just bringing politicians, he's bringing symbols Trump respects. Big money, sporting success, Western-facing legacy. This is South Africa's soft power in human form. Now, the strained US-SA relationship, especially around allegations of white genocide and farm killings, Afrikaner refugee narratives, Trump's prior tweets about SA land reform bills, I mean, including well-known white South African figures like Rupert, Els and Goosen, subtly counters the anti-white narrative some far-right American groups have pushed about South Africa. This mix of Afrikaner success stories, business in business and sports, provides a reassuring image that white South Africans remain safe and prominent in the country, and some still support the government or at least the broader national project. Well, some say including these white golfers will strengthen South Africa's voice on critical matters like the AGOA renewal, the ICJ court case, which got South Africa in trouble with Washington, D.C., and to potentially discard Elon Musk's claims about South Africa, particularly they are rejecting Starlink because I'm not black rhetoric. So having respected white, non-political voices backing Ramaphosa gives his argument more weight. Rupert and others may act as bridge figures, making South Africa's message more palatable in a hostile or skeptical Washington environment. The delegation is deliberately curated to appeal to Trump's ego, personal interest, and social networks, counter damaging narratives about South Africa by showing successful, prominent white South Africans aligned with the state's vision, create emotional and relational leverage, making Trump more receptive to Ramaphosa's positions. But this is white politics, guys. Certain individuals are there to protect their interests. We all know Rupert's exporting companies will stand to lose if we lose South Africa's second biggest trading partner, the United States. Ernie Els, who exports wine to the US, will stand to lose as well. But who is looking out for the interests of black people? The people that are actually footing the bill to keep the country afloat. What are black people benefiting from these negotiations? From what I see, this delegation is a symbol that Ramaphosa has sold our country to white supremacists. This is state capture. None of these white men live in South Africa. They do not know the day-to-day struggles of the ordinary black South African. So what are they going to negotiate that will be so beneficial to the majority black? Who are they going to negotiate for? A couple of Afrikaners run their mouths with lies and suddenly the White House is in full swing. Our president is leaving important matters to attend to nonsense. But black people's plights aren't fully heard on these international platforms. This truly shines a light on a never-ending privilege of white people globally. Zuma was impeached for the same thing Ramaphosa is doing. The media hasn't told you that Johan Rupert is to Cyril Ramaphosa what the Guptas were to Jacob Zuma. It's state capture, but the media won't tell you that. That's why you are not angry and not yapping about state capture yet. Why? Because the media is owned by Ramaphosa, Rupert, Els, Oppenheimer, and Goosen. They tell you what you need to know. They can manipulate us through the power of media because they know the chances of black people actually reading books and researching are non-existent. That's why they can water down our history and you'd still not give a that's why they know that they can lie to you anyhow and control you because chances of you being informed are zero. I'm laughing at black South Africans that are defending Rupert joining Ramaphosa to Washington, D.C. and then in the same breath hurl words like corruption and state capture to Jacob Zuma and the Guptas. For those who do not know who the Guptas were, they are the Gupta family. They were a bunch of wealthy families affiliated with Jacob Zuma, and they were a direct competition to the white supremacists of South Africa like Johan Rupert. They were doing with Jacob Zuma what Johan Rupert is doing with Ramaphosa right now. They called Jacob Zuma's relationship with the Guptas state capture, but they failed to label this Rupert Ramaphosa relationship state capture because the Guptas were not white. The Guptas are not white. It's safe to say that these are the true masters, the true owners of South Africa. We all know it. We just don't want to admit it. We all know these dumb ANC politicians like Paul Mashatile, Gwede Mantashe, Fikile Mbalula, Enoch Godongwane, and this bitch Nomvula Mkonyane are just puppets and black faces used to pull wool over our eyes and keep us subdued while the white supremacists walk in and out of this country and capture our state without taking accountability. Yeah. And to make it worse, the black South Africans refuse to hold them accountable. I always say that black South Africans are corrupt as well. You guys are corrupt. You are not innocent. You are corrupt. They enjoy the cycle of abuse. Ain't no saving them because they don't want to be saved. Black South Africans don't want to be saved. This is why Julius Malema will never ever be president of South Africa, because he's appealing to the masses that don't want to be saved. He's appealing to the masses that enjoy the brutality under the white supremacists, that back up white supremacists and throw their fellow black people under the bus. Julius Malema will never ever rule South Africa. He can forget. He can forget. And if I were him, running a political party is very expensive. I don't know how he keeps the EFF afloat, but running a political party it's not easy. Especially appealing to the masses that enjoy Stockholm syndrome, that would worship the ground Johan Rupert walks on. I've seen them on social media busy praising Johan Rupert. Because I think Johan Rupert told Donald Trump that there is no white genocide the way these boors of AfriForum are busy bitching and moaning about on these international stages. They are lying. There is no such thing. We are happy. We are safe. It's just a bunch of individuals that just want to hold on to old colonial power, that just want to have apartheid back, that just want to settle for mediocrity and hopes that their skin color will open doors for them. So there is no white genocide, Mr. President, relax. And people on Twitter, black people, by the way, on Twitter started clapping. Johan Rupert, you were speaking for our nation. Wow, we are so happy. Wow, he's a patriot. No, honey, no. Johan Rupert is saying what all the black politicians have been saying from the start, the minute this white genocide nonsense started gaining traction. Johan Rupert is just repeating what these black politicians did. So what's the difference between what Ramaphosa said about refuting the white genocide and what Rupert is saying now about refuting these white genocide claims? What is the difference? They're both denying it. What makes one worthy of your praises, your honor, and your cheers? If not, you are self-hating. You are self-hating. There's nothing to it. It's who you are. It's who you people are. You hate yourself so much that you've shrinked yourself to be inferior. That's why the Rupert, what's his name? Rupert, Oppenheimer, Els, Gusen, they can come in and out of this country as they please. They can run South Africa behind the scenes. You don't see the bigger picture. Black South Africans fail to see the bigger picture because they're not well informed. They don't watch the news. They don't watch the news. They don't read books. They don't know their history to start with. They know of apartheid, but they don't know what apartheid is. I bet you if we can ask a 21-year-old black girl or boy what apartheid was, they wouldn't tell you. They know it existed, but they don't know the context. They don't know what went down. They don't know iconic black political leaders or political figures that fought for the liberation of these of the black people of this country, that fought for the emancipation of all black people across the globe, that fought for the economical freedom of this country. They don't know. They don't know the political leaders. They don't know. They just don't. But tell them about twerking and Cardi B. Oh, ha! That is how they have captured the minds of black South Africans. That is how they've managed, the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers managed to thrive all these years. Because they've captured our minds, because we are not well-informed people. Education is the key to success, guys. Once you are informed and educated, no one can break you. No one can take your truth away from you. But because you don't know your truth, you are out there celebrating a white man for saying there's no white genocide. We all know there's no white genocide. We all know. Why is it just because Rupert is saying it now, it holds weight, it holds water, it's important? What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these